Scorpio, welcome to your full moon in Aquarius reading for August 1st, 2023. It's a strange month. So, full moons close out cycles, we know that. Um, when you add up the beginning of the month of August, which is, August 1st, 2023, you get the frequency of 7. And 7 is a unique number, it is not cookie cutter by any means. The seventh planet from the sun is Uranus, and Uranus happens to be the modern ruler of Aquarius, which is what our full moon is in. And Uranus can be disruptive, it can be brutally honest, and it can be unpredictable. So that's kind of what we have to look forward to this month. Plus, there are about 4 to 6 planets during the month that will be going retrograde, Mercury being one of them. That's kind of brings things to a halt, or, like we're walking through mud. So it's going to be a strange month, let's put it that way. And not just for you, but for everyone involved. Your theme for the next 2 weeks is the Hierophant. This gives you a maybe card from this card, but for me, it is a no. This is my no card. My yes card is the Ace of Swords. My no card is the Hierophant. But this particular card gives you a maybe. That's what I mean, right? It's a strange month. This can be family. This can be traditions. It can be conformity, religion, spirituality. It's usually the big organizations, governments, schools, religions, the DMV, red tape, stuff like that. 5 is the frequency of instability that pushes us to find harmony. It is disruptive. It is the roller coaster ride. It's change. So there can be some change where maybe family or traditional values, conformity, right? There can be some changes to people who are conforming to one way of thinking, and all of a sudden they're like, wait, no, that's not right. Let me change here. And it's all for, moving towards the energy of harmony. So I think that's a good thing. But it is a bit disruptive. So let's see where you're headed with this Hierophant theme. All right, well, you are trudging along indeed with that 10 of Wands. These are taking our responsibilities and moving forward. You could be coming to the end of some responsibilities, getting ready to release some of them that you have been carrying for a while. If you've been carrying other people's responsibilities, make sure that you are not cheating them of learning something from them dealing with their own responsibility. That's not necessarily always the case, but it can be. This is a slow move towards the end. The goal is in sight, but it could feel like it's pretty far away. And again, with those planets in retrograde this month, it does feel like moving through mud. The 10 is the frequency of finishing up a cycle while simultaneously beginning the next one. Okay? So that can be a bit of a heavy burden. You have the moon card with that, so this moon is probably going to affect you quite a bit. This can be fears that come up from our deep subconscious, or we just don't see things clearly. And again, maybe we're not seeing the end in sight of these responsibilities that we're taking on. That's also a possibility for some people. But things are not clear when the moon is aspected. Now, the idea here with the moon is to look at your fears, because then they stop having that effect on you. The dogs bark at the moon. There's nothing to fear about the moon that we know of. And therefore, they are unfounded fears. And so when we bring them to light, when we look at them in the face, we know that it's not as scary or not as bad as we thought it would be. This can boost your intuitive psychic powers, Scorpio, for sure. And you could just have the feels, right? Something feels off, or something feels odd, or something feels different, but you can't quite put your finger on it. This is probably more at the beginning of the lunar phase. It does seem to wane after a few days. Maybe not for you because you're a very intuitive person anyway. Um, This can be, I'm feeling like there is some structure issues. So how we structure our day, how we structure our work, our responsibilities, our emotional life may change. You could have had a very traditional path with that Hierophant card, and maybe things like that start to change. And it could feel a little weird for you. It could just feel like things are out of place, or you feel out of place, or you feel a little bit strange. It can be that kind of energy as well for some of you. How you're behaving. Yeah, see, you have the Eight of Swords. This is that our mental faculties can be kind of tied up right now, or we feel like we can't affect any changes in our situation. The 8 is a power number, and you're putting a lot of energy behind the struggle. And this card says it's probably better if you wait for things to turn around in your favor. The more you struggle, the more you kind of get stuck in the mud with this particular card. Sometimes we're not supposed to do things, right? And with those 4 to 6 planets, I hate to reiterate it, but it is a big deal. Maybe, you know, you would be putting too much energy into it and it won't go anywhere, or you feel like you can't affect changes. So maybe you're not supposed to. Attend to day-to-day life with the 10 of Pentacles. Now there can also be some financial negotiations. You have 2 10s here. So that really means for me that there is a situation that's coming to a close while you're beginning something new. You have 2 indicators of that. So these are the people that you talk to on a daily basis. This is just your daily life, going about the daily life. Don't worry about the big things at the moment. But there are conversations that you have through your daily life. Maybe some financial negotiation is necessary, or work conversation. You could have a lot of that going on as well. The bigger things in the world, because this is community, right? So it could be micro, macro. It can be your family situation. In the Hierophant, we're talking about family. It can be bigger things in the world, especially where the Hierophant is concerned, governments, schools, that sort of thing. And we are, you know, closing out the summer and getting ready for school. So for some of you, that can be the situation as well. There has to be some negotiation or conversation where that's concerned. I do feel that. But it seems to be a difficult conversation with that 8 of Swords. Or you can try and negotiate, or you can try to converse, but it seems like it falls on deaf ears because you're not affecting the solution that you want to. But this can just be attending to day-to-day life for the next 2 weeks, you know, nothing major. And that may make you feel like you're in a holding pattern, but you probably shouldn't go forward with a lot of things at the moment. Stabilizing our financial situation, our physical situation, maybe not budging, maybe needing a budget. That's also possible here. But again, not being able to affect a solution kind of leaves you stuck in the situation that you're in. This is the Sun in Capricorn, the 4 of Pentacles. It's associated with the Sun in Capricorn. And Capricorn has what it needs to get things done. So you could be creating some good, strong foundations right now. That may be the only thing that you need to do during this time. Or it can just be hunkering down. And that's kind of the energy I'm getting, is you're just sort of hunkering down here a little bit. And especially, this is about saving your money, especially if you are talking like financial negotiations, that sort of thing. You may be looking towards a project or doing a project, but you may need money to do that. Or, but it feels very much like I need to hunker down a little bit here. Let's see what that's in regard to. Yeah, creative projects. cooperative efforts. This is my necessity is the mother of invention card. So you could be coming up with some good solutions to budgeting or hunkering down, or, creating those firm foundations. This is my apprenticeship card. So you may be creating foundations to something that you are just learning at the moment. The Three of Pentacles is that you've learned something and now you're kind of in the very beginning stages of carrying it out. There can be instruction that you're getting from other people as well here. But again, creative solutions with that Three of Pentacles, and I like that for you. All right, let's get some specifics. Okay, I do think you're going to be a bit emotional during this period. Drink plenty of water so you can flush out any kind of anything residual in the body and emotionally, right? It seems to me like you've been doing a lot lately, and you may have neglected yourself here, and so it's time to find that equilibrium again and to pay attention to your emotions. But I do really want to say drink plenty of water during this period. Also, I would look into your what has been happening in the last few lunar cycles, or because they can kind of come back a little bit. Things that have happened can kind of resurface, I want to say, and you have to deal with them. Tears are a great catharsis. I do think you're going to be quite emotional. And this is creative, inspired energy as well. You could have some, especially where, this is concerned, there can be some very creative, inspired ideas that come up, inventions that come up. And again, it's that kind of that moon energy where it sort of comes out of nowhere. Or it comes from the deep subconscious, right? But I do feel like there's some emotion that comes up around this time. And this card often says that you have an emotionally full cup, and that it's time to release some of that. And I say that because you have 2 10s here, and that's full. It doesn't get any more full than 10, right? So you need to release some emotional stuff. If you drink water, you will have to go to the bathroom quite a bit, and that also helps to remove toxins or anything emotions that have built up that you need to let go of now. It's a good time to do a cleanse. You're behaving like a Queen of Swords. This is my Virgo card. Interesting because you can be very good with handling any details, any red tape. We're talking about the Hierophant here. So it can be red tape, it can be details, it can be a lot of forms that you have to fill out. It can be that kind of energy, which can sometimes feel like an exercise in futility indeed, but you do have the energy to push through it with that Queen of Swords. She is highly logical. If she doesn't understand something, she's going to find out how to understand it, or the information that she needs to clear the clouds in her mind. She's also somebody who can cut situations and people off quite quickly, quite effortlessly. So she can have a bit of a sharp tongue as well. But she's also got a sharp mind. These are people who are great project planners. The King of Wands is a good manager, but these are people who can be in a good position of authority. They can just be a little bit harsh doing it. I almost feel like you want to avoid some emotion. And so you use your mental, like this is a lot. You know what I mean? This is a lot of emotion flowing, but you're kind of behaving like a sword here. And they're not very sentimental people. First, logic and reason, right? And then they maybe factor in some sentimentality into it. Okay. With that, you have the Nine of Swords. Okay, so for me, this is the planets are at play here. There can be thoughts that get away from you and create a life of their own. But for me, he's under a blanket of stars here, so that does mean for me that the stars definitely have something to do with how you are dealing with situations. Maybe before those creative ideas come up or solutions come up, you can really be overthinking it and worrying about it a little bit too much when that Nine of Swords appears. Meditation would be a really good thing for you. Being around water, meditating around water would be good for you. You may have some sleepless nights with that Nine of Swords, find difficulty sleeping. It can be a bad mattress. You may need to turn your mattress. You may need a new pillow. You may need to move the furniture around in your bedroom so that the energy is more conducive to the prevailing energies at the moment. It can be that simple, but it can also be a worry that really gets away from you. And this can have something to do with finances, a project, financing a project, financial concerns, budgets, people who don't seem to want to budge from their position or their way of thinking. Remember, you have the Hierophant here, which is for me a no card, but it may be maybe for you. But there's a lot of mental energy here. Okay, so what does Spirit want you to know? The Queen of Coins. Be practical in your endeavors, right? This is somebody who takes very practical steps. This is my Aquarius card, so the moon is certainly going to have an effect on you with the moon and the moon in Aquarius. This is a health card for me. Good mental health and good physical health. Your mental health could have an effect on your physical health this month. So like I said, it's a good time for a cleanse. It's a really good time to manage your diet, right? Eat whole foods. Eat your fruits and vegetables. A well-balanced diet. Vitamins, supplements, that sort of thing. Take care of your health. They're really important during this time. You could be focused on work, making money, creating strong, solid financial foundations. But it's the things of the earth that you could be dealing with here with that Queen of Coins. And this could be somebody in your midst who can help you to do that. Because you really are behaving like a Queen of Swords. You are giving way too much energy to your mental struggles. And this is sort of, this Queen of Pentacles is bringing you back down to earth. Earthing pads, being on the earth in your bare feet for an extended period of time would help to ground and help to release any toxins back into the earth through your feet. So barefoot, right? Would be really, really good for you. I'm also seeing tea here. That little teapot is really coming up to me. So getting some good grounding teas. Maybe some tree bark teas would be really good for you at this time. Rooibos, that kind of thing. Sassafras tea, that kind of thing. Anything that can come from bark would be really good for you from the trees. But good herbal teas, good quality herbal teas would be good for you as well. And that can also help to relax your mind a little bit. Okay, that feels like a lot to me. And it is a lot. There's a lot going on here. You are carrying a bit too much of a burden. and it's time to let go of some of that. Okay, Scorpio? You are very intense, and I think your intensity shows this month. Please be kind to yourself. Thank you for listening. I'll return in 2 weeks with a new moon reading, hopefully with better news and hopefully with some of these planets that are moving on, but I think it's going to be a weird month altogether. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Take very good care.